Picture this. It's Friday night, your paycheck just landed in your account, and you decide to do the responsible thing. You sit down with a hot cup of coffee, open up your banking app, and move a couple $100 into savings. You even feel a little surge of pride. But then you look at your total balance, scroll through your monthly expenses, and do some quick mental math. You realize that at this exact pace, you won't be able to buy a house, step back from work, or build real wealth until you're well into your 60s. Wait, am I doing this wrong? It's a terrifying thought, especially when you're working hard and trying your absolute best to make smart moves. On one hand, saving money feels safe and responsible. On the other hand, it feels like you're running on a treadmill that keeps speeding up while you're staying in the exact same place. In this video, we're going to break down exactly how to break out of that trap using a simple financial strategy that 90% of people who build wealth early rely on. My name is Jack, and I spend way too much time thinking about personal finance. If you're someone who feels like you're working hard but still falling behind financially, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if it helps you out. Here's the thing. Most of us were taught a very specific set of rules growing up. Get a decent job, live below your means, clip a few coupons, and put whatever is left over into a standard savings account. We were told that if we just stayed disciplined, wealth would automatically follow. But that advice was built for a completely different economy. When you leave your hard-earned money sitting in a traditional bank account, earning a fraction of a percent in interest, your purchasing power gets quietly eaten away by inflation every single year. You aren't actually saving your way to freedom. You're slowly losing ground. The people who reach true financial security by age 40 aren't just saving more aggressively than you. They aren't living on ramen noodles or skipping every vacation either. They're simply operating on a completely different system. They stopped playing defense with their cash and started playing offense. This is where it gets really interesting. Let's look at what happens when you compare these two approaches using real numbers over a 15-year period. Imagine person A saves $300 every single month into a standard bank account, earning an average interest rate of 1%. After 15 years of consistent discipline, person A has set aside $54,000 out of their own pocket, and the bank has given them about $4,000 in total interest. They end up with roughly $58,000. Now look at person B. Person B takes that exact same $300 a month, but instead of letting it sit idle, they route it into a simple, diversified index fund that historically earns an average annual return around 8%. After those same 15 years, person B has also contributed $54,000 of their own money. But their total balance isn't $58,000. It's over $100 and display level $1,000. Same monthly sacrifice, same income level. Double the result. That isn't luck. That isn't high-risk gambling. That is the fundamental power of dynamic asset allocation working in the background while you sleep. Here's what most people don't realize about why this gap happens in the first place. It isn't a lack of willpower, and it definitely isn't because wealthy people are inherently better at math. It's about behavioral friction and automated habits. Human beings are naturally hardwired to spend what is easily accessible to them. When you leave your extra money sitting in your primary checking or basic savings account, your brain views that money as available cash. You see a buffer, so you feel comfortable spending just a little extra on takeout, a weekend trip, or an impulse purchase online. The people who build real wealth by 40 understand this natural flaw in human psychology. They intentionally design a financial environment where they never have to make a daily choice to save. They remove human decision-making from the process entirely by creating an automatic system that moves their money to work before their eyes ever have a chance to see it. To pull this off in your own life, you need a straightforward framework that turns this psychology in your favor. I call this system the automated wealth ladder. It breaks down into 4 specific sequential steps that anyone with a steady paycheck can start setting up this week. Step 1 is called the Frictionless Foundation. Before you throw every spare dollar into investments, you must establish a dedicated buffer of 3 months of basic living expenses, but it needs to sit in a high-yield savings account completely separated from your everyday checking account. High-yield savings accounts currently pay significantly higher interest rates than traditional brick-and-mortar banks, keeping your emergency cash safe and liquid while still protecting it from heavy inflation. By moving this buffer to a totally separate institution, you create physical friction. You can access it if a real emergency happens, but you won't accidentally spend it on a spontaneous weekend dinner. Step 2 is called the first dollar rule. The moment your paycheck hits your checking account on payday, A set portion of that money should automatically transfer out into your investment accounts before you pay a single bill or buy a single grocery item. Most people save whatever is left over at the end of the month, which is almost always zero. By reversing the order and paying your future self first, you force your daily spending lifestyle to automatically adjust around what remains. You don't miss the money because you never treated it as spendable income in the first place. Step 3 is called core indexing. You do not need to research individual stocks, day trade crypto, or read dense balance sheets for hours every night to get rich. In fact, trying to beat the market usually leads to worse results for everyday investors. Instead, set up your recurring automated transfer directly into broad market index funds or total stock market exchange traded funds. These financial tools allow you to buy tiny shares of hundreds of the largest, most profitable companies in the world all at once. When the overall economy grows over time, your net worth grows directly alongside it. It is hands-off, ultra-low cost, and historically proven to outperform almost every active investor over a decade or more. Step 4 is called the escalator clause. Every time you get a salary raise, a performance bonus, or a side project payout, commit to routing at least 50% of that new money directly into your automated investment stream. The remaining 50% is yours to enjoy completely guilt-free. This single mechanism permanently cures lifestyle creep. It allows you to upgrade your standard of living slowly over time while simultaneously accelerating your path to financial independence faster every single year. Think about it like building an automated irrigation system for a backyard farm. Imagine a farmer who carries heavy buckets of water from a well to his crops every single afternoon. He works until his muscles ache, but the moment he takes a week off or falls sick, his crops begin to wither because the system relies entirely on his physical presence and daily labor. Now picture a second farmer who decides to spend a few hours every weekend digging simple wooden trenches and building a basic water pipeline from a nearby stream straight to his field. At first, it looks like he's spending extra time for no immediate payoff. But once those pipes are connected, the water flows continuously to the soil every minute of every day, whether the farmer is working, sleeping, or resting with his family. The bucket carrier is working hard, but the pipeline builder is constructing a system that outlasts his personal energy. Now you might be thinking, this all sounds great in theory, Jack, but I barely have enough money left over after rent, groceries, and bills to cover my current life. So how am I supposed to invest hundreds of dollars every month? That is a completely fair objection, and it's the exact reason so many people feel stuck before they even start. But here's the key realization. You do not need hundreds of dollars to begin building this momentum. Starting small with just $25 or $50 a month is infinitely better than waiting until you magically have a perfectly comfortable budget. The primary goal in the beginning isn't the total dollar amount you invest. It's building the behavioral muscle memory of automated consistency. Once the pipeline is built and functioning, increasing the flow of money down the line becomes surprisingly easy as your career grows and your expenses stabilize. To put this whole strategy into perspective, building real financial peace doesn't require a six-figure salary or a lucky lottery ticket. It comes down to executing those 4 foundational shifts consistently over time. First, set up your frictionless foundation in a high-yield account so unexpected surprises don't knock you backward. Second, execute the first dollar rule by automating your contributions the exact day you get paid. Third, keep your investments absurdly simple with core indexing instead of chasing risky high-hype trends. And fourth, apply the escalator clause to capture half of every future pay raise before lifestyle inflation eats it up. Here's what most people don't realize about building long-term wealth. It isn't supposed to feel dramatic, intense, or stressful. True financial progress is actually quiet, steady, and intentionally boring. It's about taking control of your financial destiny by building a simple system today that your future 40-year-old self will thank you for endlessly. You don't have to get every single detail perfect right now, but you do need to take that very first step. And I'm curious about something. What is the single biggest financial distraction or hurdle that keeps you from saving or investing consistently every month? Let me know in the comments below.